Hi, this is 10-Minute Bill with the 10MinuteBible.com doing a 10-minute exegesis of 1 Peter 4, verses 4 through 6. I'm going to split it into two 5-minute videos, so that'll upload better on YouTube. First one is going to be looking at the text, observing it, and the second one will look at the outline and explain it. So in regard to these things, which is the will of the worldlings, the things the worldlings like to do, which was verse 5, the worldlings think it strange that you don't rush or run with them into the same flood of dissipation. It's the word that means kind of unsaved behavior. And then you have a participle speaking evil of you. What's the relationship between this participle and the stuff up here? And it's going to be probably a cause and effect kind of thing. So it's going to give a result. Result of them thinking it's strange is that they speak evil of you. Someone said people don't think it's strange when people ruin their lives with all kinds of excesses, but as soon as they kind of get their act together and start walking straight, everybody starts talking, bad-mouthing them. The word there is actually blaspheme. Then we have verses 5 and 6. There's no link between the two verses. And frequently when you don't have a link there, you can try result. As a result of speaking evil of you, they're going to give an account. There are probably some other options you could use as well, but result's one of the ones I like to try first. And the one to whom they're going to give an account is the one who stands ready to judge the living and the dead. By the way, back in 3:16, they were speaking evil of them because they were doing things they didn't understand either. Okay, then you start with verse 6. It looks easy to begin with, but it's kind of deceptive. Its 4 is a gar. So the gar tells us that verse 6 is the reason for verse 5. So the reason they'll have to give an account is because the gospel was preached. Or the reason God stands ready to judge the quick and the dead, or living and the dead, sorry, King James slips in there every now and then, is because the gospel was preached. Then, if you look at your King James Bible, you'll have for this. It's actually a second word. The gar is this first one. And then eis tuto, which usually is for this purpose. Your Bibles tended to translate it just as for this reason again. Eis tuto was used in 2:21 to emphasize purpose, and it shows up about half a dozen times in the New Testament, and almost every time it's a purpose. And what we have coming up down here is a hina plus a subjunctive, which is also going to be a purpose. It's another. So the idea is that 6 is the reason for 5, and he's emphasizing in 6 the purpose of the gospel being preached. So let's go to our verbal proposition. Indicative gospel was preached. And the gospel is the thing that they talked about in 12:25, 4:17. Little phrase here is also. The gospel was also preached. Some of your versions just left that one out. But it's also in addition to something else. You have to figure out what that is. So the gospel was preached also to those who are dead. You probably spent a lot of time trying to figure out, is it spiritually dead or physically dead, or people who the gospel was preached back when they were alive. The gospel was preached to people who were alive but are now dead and is being preached to physically dead people. There's some people who say that, but there's no other support for it. And the thing that helps you solve this is aorist. It was preached in the past. It's not currently being preached to dead people. It will not be preached to dead people. There is no second chance. Hebrews says, pointing to men once to die and after that judgment. So it doesn't look like there's a good second chance there. But the gospel was preached also to those who are dead. And here's the purpose for it. And plus a subjunctive, nice, easy. That although they might have been judged according to men in the flesh, they may live according to God in the Spirit. All right, a couple of things that make this a little difficult. You have a word, a little participle. Where'd it go? Men. In the Greek, this is a construction that frequently is used with de, and we have a de down here. So the men and de combined. On the one hand, it's this. On the other hand, it's that. So that's why I threw in here. On the one hand, people might have been judged according to man's standard in the fleshly realm, but they may live. This is present as opposed to aorist. There's the aorist up here. One happened in the past, one is in the present. They may live according to God in the spirit realm. So the kata is normally manner, could also be the standard of, and I took it that way in my outline. Alright, so I'm going to stop here and then pick up the outline in part 2.